Hi, 5th graders. I'm Tran, and this is lesson 5. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning the properties of multiplication, estimating products, multiplying 2 digits by 2 digits, and multiplying 3 digits by 2 digits. So for the first page, we have 4 options for each question, which are either the distributive property, zero property, commutative property, identity property, or associative property. The distributive property tells us how to solve expressions in the form of a parentheses b plus c, which I'll write right here. So here we multiply a times b, which gives us ab, and then we add that with a times c, which gives us ac, because we multiply a by b and then a times c. Next we have the zero property, which is saying that any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Next we have the commutative property, which says that changing the order of atoms doesn't affect the sum. So for example, if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3, which equals 6, we can also say that 3 plus 1 plus 2, which still equals 6. Now we have the identity property, which is saying that any number multiplied or divided by 1 stays the same. So for example, if we have 4 times 1, it stays 4 because we're multiplying by 1. And last, we have the associative property, which says that no matter the grouping of numbers, the answer still stays the same. So for example, if we have 1 parentheses 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 1 plus parentheses 2 plus 3. So for number 1, we have 7 times 1 equals 7. This is the identity property because we have a 1 and the answer stays the same. Next we have 28 times 33 grouping times 61 equals 28 times 33 times 61, and parentheses around these numbers. This is the associative property because we are changing the parentheses but they're still equal to each other. For this page we're going to be estimating products by rounding each number to the nearest 10 and then multiplying and rounding it to the nearest 100. So for number 1, we have 68, which rounds to 70, and 79, which rounds to 80. Now we remember the trick we use when multiplying numbers that have zeros in it. So we did 7 times 8, which is 56, and we add the 2 more zeros because there's 1 0 and then 2 zeros. So for number 1, our answer is 5,600. Now I'm going to do an example with 3 digits. So here we have 328, which rounds to 300, and 103, which rounds to 100. Now we just do 3 times 1, which is 3, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So this will give it an answer of 30,000. Once again, we have the numbers 984, which rounds to 1,000, and 731, which rounds to 700. We can multiply 1 times 7, which equals to 7, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So we're going to write that here, and this will give us an answer of 700,000. Now we're going to be multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. So for number 1, we have 21 times 10. So we start from right to left, and we start with 0 times 1, which is 0. And we also have 0 times 2, which is also 0. Now we put the 0 when we go to the next row as a placeholder. And now we can do 1 times 1, which is 1, and 1 times 2, which is 2. So we're going to add these numbers up, and 210 plus 0 is 210. So for number 1, our answer is 210. Now for number 7, we have 60 times 23. So we start from here again, So we have 3 times 0, which is 0, and then 3 times 6, which is 18. Now we can do 2 times 0. Well, first we need to put a placeholder. And now we can do 2 times 0, which is 0, and 2 times 6, which is 12. So we're going to add these numbers up. 1 plus 1, nothing is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 8 plus nothing is 8. And then we put a 0 here since it's 0 plus 0. And for number 7, our answer is 1380. For the last page, we're going to be multiplying 2-digit numbers by 3-digit numbers. So for number 1, we have 250 times 81. So first, we're going to be starting with this number, multiplying by every number on the top. So 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 2 is 2. So now we're going to place a 0 here as a placeholder. And now we can do 8 times 0, which is 0, 8 times 5, which is 40. So we're going to put a 0 here, put a 4 here to carry over the 4. And 8 times 2 is 16. And then we add the 4, which makes it 20. We can now add these numbers, and this will give us an answer of 20,250. For number 6, we have 108 times 24. We start from the 4 again, and 4 times 8 is 32. Now we can do 4 times 0, which is 0, and add the 3, so it becomes 3. And now we do 4 times 1, which is 4. Now we're going to put a 0 here as a placeholder, and start from this 2 now. So 2 times 8 is 16, so we're going to put the here, put the 6 here, and carry over the 1. Now 2 times 0 is 0, but we add the 1, so it's going to be here. And now we have 2 times 1 is 2. So for this, our answer is 2,592. That's all for this lesson, and I hope you found this helpful.